Feel that. You know what that is?
It better be fake.
It's goat material. And it's not real goat. It's not goat. It's not real. That was just a play on I'm the. Okay, all right. That's just.
You're done.
That's okay. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Elisha here, and I am joined by some of the best and brightest former women's players in footy. We got the wonderful Kaylin Kyle, the amazing Darian Jenkins, and this is Through Ball. This is the show that drops every single Thursday where we talk about all of the topics in the beautiful game that matter most to you. We are on DAZN weekly. So come back, come chill with us, come vibe with us, comment, like, subscribe, tune in to Through Ball on DAZN. How we feeling?
I'm feeling good. Every week something different seems to happen in the world of footy, and it's why it's the #1 sport in the world, so I can't wait to dive into it yet again for week 2.
We got goals, we got red cards, we got drama. I can't wait to break it down, and I got a great crew to do it with.
Thank you. Let's get into it. All right, first to get into VAR, where we review all the latest and the best, most exciting stories from the past week. And first and foremost, we got to talk about Inter Miami in Jamaica. Yes, Lionel Messi's first ever game in Jamaica, being from the Caribbean and, not having as many opportunities to see a player like Lionel Messi, to see Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, some of these big stars play live in front of me. I really felt the excitement of the Jamaican people. Inter Miami plays in the Champions Cup against Cavaliers FC. It was a very big deal. I think the biggest deal in Jamaica since Vibe Cartel came out of jail. But it was just huge. Everybody was supporting. I feel like even Cavaliers players were supporting Inter Miami. Like, they want to see them do well. They want to see Messi score. I mean, he started off the bench. But, yeah, it was just a huge moment. I saw somebody said that Messi can't have any curry goat in Jamaica because that would be cannibalism. And I thought that was hilarious. But, it was just a huge moment. And, I had this talk with my dad really quickly because he remembers, like, literally 50 years ago, Pele came to play in Haiti when my dad was really young. And it was, again, like half a century later, he still remembers, knowing that Pele is coming with New York's Cosmos to play this Haitian team, Violet, and having to, like, sneak into the stadium and somehow making it to damn near the front row, almost pitch side, and being able to see, to him, the greatest player of all time, like, play right there in his home country. It's just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So, yeah, I just thought it was a dope story. Luis Suarez gave away his jersey to a kid.
These players all have kids. So they all know, and they were those kids before. So going to these countries that might not ever see these global superstars playing in their backyards, in their own stadiums, now these young kids going to these games have idols. And they in their mind are thinking, I can be the next Luis Suarez. I can be the next Lionel Messi, which I think is truly remarkable because that was me. That was me.
Me too.
Oh, God, a lot of years ago. But looking at...
How many years?
But let's just not go there. We won't dive there. But it was me. It was me because soccer wasn't huge in Canada. Yeah. So it was, I wanted to be the next Wayne Gretzky. My dad was like, probably not. You can't skate. You can't stop. My dad was a hockey player, so I grew up in and around the rink. So I just think it's awesome that these players give their time, give their energy, take the pictures, share the jerseys, because those are the moments that live on these kids' minds forever and ever.
This is what the sport is really about. This opportunity, being able to have these young kids and even these grown adults be inspired and see the people that you've idolized, the dream, it becomes that much more attainable. Like when we were younger and you see these players that and you think, oh my God, I can do this. I can be this. And for that to be in their backyard in Jamaica.
Yes.
By the way, Jamaica showed up as well.
The
fans were
sold
unbelievable.
They balled out.
And just great energy.
Yeah.
Like the energy there was just vibing. I loved it. And you could tell the players loved it when they were walking off the pitch. Like just the smiles in their face, shaking the fans' hands.
It was
very
really
cool.
grounding.
And it's going to be a little difficult to replicate that type of energy in the next round. But Inter Miami will be facing LAFC in the next round of the Champions Cup. Prediction, who moves through?
Inter Miami. I'm not sold on LAFC right now. They're not consistent enough for me.
I'm not sold on them yet either. Need to put away their chances. Sorry, shout out to Jeremy Obobisi. Love you, that's my bro. But they're not doing enough, I don't think, to beat this Inter Miami team who's putting chances away.
I think tactically, Steve Cherundolo has question marks. I don't think the midfield gets close enough to the strikers, whether that is Olivier Giroud or Abobasi, whoever you are starting. And I think that's why Olivier Giroud has struggled within that team, because it's a very direct team. It's a very counter-attacking team right now. Yes. And when you have someone like Giroud, he's not going to beat someone in behind for pace. He's that target number 9 that sucks other players in and around him and sucks defenders out of their position. So I think big question marks for Steve Cherundolo heading into this match.
I'm so happy that you said that they're lacking in the midfield area, because a certain midfielder who just came back to football, Paul Pogba, went and visited LAFC.
I saw them dapping each other up.
And his fellow, you know what I'm saying, compatriots. Ça va? Oui, oui.
Here we go. Here we go again, the French. You need more
You're the
than...
resident Canadian.
Yeah, I've already given you all my content for that.
I get to make jokes about French. I'm from Haiti. I actually speak French. So, yeah, don't try to cancel me over. You dibble and dabble.
I dabble.
But, yeah, Paul Pogba might be elevating the midfield for LAFC.
I mean, that would be incredible.
LAFC, though, Inter Miami, seeing them in the Champions Cup. All right, Kaylin, what is your VAR moment?
My VAR moment is red cards. Because, you knew me when I played. I loved getting stuck into a tackle. Another player that loves getting stuck into tackles, Sergio Ramos.
Oh, my God.
Goes to Mexico, goes to Liga MX, goes to Monterrey, and he had a little bit of a joke. Yes, he picked up a red card in the game, and I think it's his, 472nd red card in his career. It's not actually. It's his 30th, I believe, in 1,001 games.
Yeah.
But I love that he jokes about it, because he's like, I can't go and play and sign in Mexico without getting a red card. Yeah. So, love it.
It's like a badge of honor at this point for him to go somewhere and immediately get a red. And no one's surprised by it. We're all kind of waiting for it.
I feel like he's very conscious of what he's doing with the red cards, because he's never gotten a red card for Spain. So I think that when he's playing for his clubs, it's like, okay, I'm allowing myself to be the savage. You can mess around a little bit more. But I think he has that much more respect for Spain that he's just like, okay, I'm going to make sure that I play as honorably as I can. But former Real players, that's what they do. So,
one player that also picked up a red card, and I did feel bad, Dele Alli, in his debut.
Oh, that was brutal.
With Como. And it broke my heart, because it's like, you work so hard. You've been gone from the game for 2 years, and it was the passion. It was that pent-up energy that ended up leading to that moment. And for a player that's worked so hard to come back, you wanted to see the comeback king get a goal, not a red card. So devastated. I'm hoping all that negative energy is out of him now, and we see the nerve. It's the nerve. Yeah, the nerves coming in. So that devastated me. Yeah. Ederson devastated you, though.
Ederson did. I'm gonna go on a rant about Ederson from Atalanta, but
Should
I
we
will
just
say
sit back for this. I love when you go on rants. Go, please. Talk to us.
I did love though that even Kyle Walker was trying to plead with the ref to not actually give him a red. Everybody was like, no, come on, just let it go. Everybody knew how big that moment was, but Dele Alli joked after. Ederson from Atalanta. All of the players that get a red for dissent for the referee, you're pissing us off. Why are you going at the refs? It has been so clear, if you're not the captain, do not go approach the referee. Do not get in their face. Do not mock them. I saw a clip with Christina Unkel where she's talking about how one of the most disrespectful things you can do is go clap in a referee's face. She explained, that's one of the most disrespectful things you can do to a ref. You're mocking them directly in their face. Now your team is down a player, and you've affected the way that the team's going to roll out. I mean, Vinicius Jr., there was a phase where he kept clapping back to the refs too and immediately got sent off. It was his second yellow.
He's still going
He hasn't done it in a minute. He hasn't done it in a minute.
Fair.
But to me, it's a crazy thing that you completely have in your control to just, if you're that heated, walk away.
I think the only way that you are changing that from players is fining players. And I'm not talking about $1,000 here and there. If you're week's wages, genuinely from a team, because I get it. It hurts your team in the long run in games, but that's never going away unless a club, a manager, or there's a rule change somewhere where you're putting money on it and a player's thinking, okay, that's a week's wage to go into the referee. I agree with you. I was that player, though, when you're heated and you're in the moment and a referee makes the worst call in the world that you think. In your head, you're thinking it's the worst.
You see
red. You see the color of my jacket. And I can attest to it.
You see Canada red.
Yeah, and I've had this talk with Christina Unkel because she's been on the opposite end of a Kayla and Kyle argument. judgment, and it's not the greatest, it's not the nicest, it's not the prettiest. I'm sorry, girl. I respect you, and I do respect referees, especially now that I'm out of the game. You see it a lot differently now that there is VAR, and you do have the meetings with referees, that you see it in a different light than when you did as a player.
I get the passion, but being a pro athlete, like we've both played professional, when you're on a team and you're having these high stakes moments, these high stake games, to me a fine is whatever. These players especially are making hundreds of thousands a week.
Yeah.
You're affecting your team. Yeah. You are affecting how your team rolls out, the legacy of your team, by doing something as chirping at the referee. To me, it's stupid. It needs to stop.
All right, next up, Darian, what is your VAR moment of the week?
My VAR moment of the week is our boy overseas with Coventry's Haji Wright scoring Hattie, the second American to do it in the top 2 English league. I think it was such a ball out of the 3 goals. They were both different. One ball, he's going 1v1, he opens up, he cuts inside, he slots it near post. Yeah. The second, a smooth penalty down the middle, bold. And then the second, just being hopeful, getting on the end of a ball, and a little cheeky chip over the keeper.
He's been balling.
He's been balling, and especially coming back. I mean, you know, I broke my leg when I played professional right before I got drafted and had to come back, and it took me a lot of time to get confidence back in my game, let alone getting my touch right. 4 months since November 9th is the last time he scored when he got hurt against Sunderland. To then come back, score a hat trick is so impressive. And if I'm Poch, I'm so excited that this kid is coming back in the form that he's in right now.
I'm kind of glad that Poch did leave him off the roster. Not that he's not ever going to be there. He will. And I think it's a great problem that Mauricio Pochettino has, is because now there's actual, this is going to sound really rude, quality and numbers to choose from. You have Ajiman that's been doing great, Pepe, Christian Pulisic. So now you have numerous goal scorers, where I feel like with the U.S. men's national team, that's been their biggest problem the past few years, is an out-and-out goal scorer that shows up every single international break and that shows up for the World Cup. So if I'm Poch right now, I'm thinking, you go rest, you build up that confidence, you keep banging in goals in the top league.
And if you guys, if you're in Haji's position right now, are you using this season as kind of like your audition tape to maybe get into a Prem team? Because it doesn't look like Coventry is going to get promoted for next season. Or are you just getting comfortable, enjoying being back in the game, healthy again, scoring, having, you know, a good form, and just staying with the team that you're at and hopefully get promoted next season?
I think it's a little bit of both. You're always auditioning to be in the top league with one of the top teams. And if you're out there scoring goals, especially as a forward, if you can put your chances away and you show that you're hungry and, hey, I can score in a variety of ways. I can play in a system where you need me to hold the ball up. I can do that. Ball over the top, I'll get on the end of it. Crosses, watch me finish it. That's the mindset I'm sure he has right now, but every player hopes to being at the next level, at the best team. Winning championships.
No player is thinking, I'm good here. I don't want to play in the EPL. I'm good. You're fine. Just leave me here.
Champions League?
Nah,
come on.
Please.
All right, next up, this segment we like to call Onside or Offside, where I will be presenting my fellow co-hosts with some hot takes. I will give you my takes, my opinions, and you guys will tell me whether they're onside or offside. And this week, we got a little upgrade. Okay, we got some extra budget.
Hey.
I actually got y'all some referee flags.
Do we get to keep these?
No.
Did this come out of your contract or all 3 of our contracts is the question? That's the main question.
Yeah, you're holding it, so you pay for it. But yes, to get started, my first take, although Atletico had a pretty bad week, Liverpool had the worst week of any team in football. Onside or offside?
Onside. My flag's staying down.
Oh my God, I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of up.
We're done with VAR.
I don't know. No, I'm going to go offside. I think Atleti had a worse week. Liverpool had a really bad week, but Atleti, if you're Diego Simeone and you pride yourself on being one of the best defensive teams, he is defensively one of the arguably the best coaches when it comes to that. And he's always prided himself on that. To have 4 goals go past you and then to have your 2 biggest rivals in the league beat you in the same week in the biggest competition and then in league play to go top of the table, that's a pretty bad week for Atleti.
It's brutal, but Liverpool losing to Newcastle in a final that really
lost the cup.
it really should have been theirs. It really should have been.
Should it have?
Liverpool's.
Newcastle outplayed them.
No,
They ran
Hey, I'm
all
a
over them.
big Alexander
Yes.
Isak fan.
Yes.
Huge. They absolutely deserved the win, but Liverpool did not show up. They
did
looked drained. They did not look like the Liverpool that we love and watched all season. So I'll go onside.
Yeah, for me, I just feel like the stakes for Liverpool were just higher across, especially for Mo Salah, because this was essentially his run for the Ballon d'Or, and now he's out of the Champions League.
Doesn't show up for
He's
big
out
games,
of the
though.
Carabao Cup, which is going to lead to my next take. But yeah, I just feel like Liverpool had a worse week. It just felt shameful. Like they were on such a great run, and it felt like they were on top of the world, this whole season. And
was
now
really
to just
theirs
fall
to
short
lose.
like that,
Yeah.
it was theirs to lose, and they lost it.
Yeah. Flag stand down.
Yeah, and we're not done with Liverpool yet. My second take of the day on Offside or Offside, there is such a thing as a clutch gene. Mo Salah does not have it. Onside or offside?
Offside.
Just kidding.
Oh.
I'm staying onside for this one. I completely agree with
Onside.
you. Stats
Yeah.
don't lie. I love Mo Salah, and I think he's fantastic. He's had an incredible
Yeah.
season, an incredible tenure already with Liverpool. But in big moments and in big games, the stats don't lie.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Put him up there. Put him up there so I don't look crazy. Get
There's
him up on
no
the screen.
doubt at all that Mo Salah is a generational talent.
Yeah.
He's having a record-breaking season right now. Like he's the best player in England. However, though, in 11 finals, he's only scored 2 goals, and they've both been penalties. Look, I think Jude has the clutch gene. I mean, in extra time, like this guy scores and pulls things out of nowhere. And Mbappe has the clutch gene. Ronaldo got the clutch gene. Messi has a clutch gene. There's a few players that have that clutch gene, even across different sports. Like Tom Brady has a clutch gene.
Do you have a clutch
LeBron
gene?
has the clutch gene.
Do you have a clutch gene?
Come on now.
It's all right. You're fit. Oh, it's good. It's good. Onside or offside? You have an answer.
Sorry,
have you?
I'm shook that he just
got
gave
the
Real
clutch
Madrid
sheet.
some compliments after
No,
bashing
facts.
them.
I got it,
Yeah, no.
I'm a fair man.
I'm also going to go onside. I mean,
Yeah.
that is brutal. I was trying to battle it in my mind of, well, he didn't get a great service. He didn't get a lot. When you're playing wing like that, you're really isolated. But wherever you are on the field, you can be clutch, and he hasn't been.
Ooh, spicy.
And to get back to Atletico Madrid, because they've been in the news so much, obviously controversial call, Julian Alvarez's penalty being ruled out against Real. So my take is, if there's a double touch in a penalty shootout, the player should just be allowed to retake it, onside or offside.
Accidental double touch?
Accidental.
I'm going to go
Accidental.
onside.
Intentions matter.
I'm going to go onside.
But
I
how
agree.
do you know if it's incidental
I
or
mean,
not?
he fell.
No, I agree
It was
with
a
you.
beautiful penalty.
I don't-
Mind you, Julian Alvarez.
I'm
was
I'm
a
not
great pen,
disagreeing with either of you right
How
now.
do you
I
know?
feel for him because if that was me, I would be livid. Again, rules are rules. I understand this. So the refereeing community, just calm down, take a seat. I'm agreeing with you, but it is a harsh way to potentially lose in PKs and crazy to me. I don't know if I don't know how you change that.
My heart broke for him.
Yeah.
Just solely for that, I would want there to be a retake. If
Yeah.
it's clearly they fell, they slipped, and it was an accident,
Yeah.
yes.
At
But
first
that's
when
the
it
pressure of
happened-
PKs as well, though.
Yeah, but when it happened and I saw him slip, like although I wanted Atletico to like, well, I wanted Real to lose obviously, so I wanted Atletico to win. But when he slipped, it was like this like I held my breath, like
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
god, he's gonna miss it, and then he made it, and it's like oh okay, he got it. But then there was a lot of arguments from Mbappe, from Jude, like yo he might have touched the ball, and then the commentators were talking about it. But for me, it's like you should just stop the ref should just stop.
So, like, if
everything
you're
in
on
that
a breakaway
moment
and you
just go.
slip, should they get another chance to have a breakaway?
But it's like stop the game. Like this is what VAR is for. Like stop everything, go reevaluate, make sure like again, was it intentional, was it not intentional, so we can actually make a decision. Because the next player stepped up to take a penalty and then they ruled out Julian's pen. So I just feel like they could have just taken a little bit more time to evaluate.
This one's tough
It's
because
a
even
horrible-
with
Then have
that
him
argument,
retake it.
with the say a red card, the intent doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You can still just cause a red if it's your footing's wrong, you hit somebody wrong, it can be an immediate red. It's
a very gray area.
It's really is a gray area. I think just for the spirit of the game and Julian Alvarez and everything, all the fight of that entire match and to go out like that was just brutal.
Ooh, onside for Darian's take.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I was trying to get out of me. But you just, that was it. That was it.
Bless.
Cut.
Now, this might ruffle a few feathers. This might be a little controversial. Now, although I respect the drip of l'Équipe de France, the French national team, I think that Netherlands give them a bit more of a run for their money. I think Netherlands might have France beat when it comes to the drip.
Ooh. Offside.
Come on. Let me cook. Let me cook.
Go.
Let me cook real quick.
Go on. Floor's yours.
Real quick. Xavi Simons, Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay by himself counts for like 3. That's one.
Okay.
Van Dijk is not as bright. He's not as bold.
He's clean.
He's clean.
He's clean, though.
Yeah, he's clean.
Frimpong is a little more like streetwear. Overall, very, very clean and solid team. I feel like the French national team, they put it on. They dress well. However, I think a lot of times it's more about the brand names for them. Like they wear the Louis Vuittons and the Gucci's and the hons and the puh.
You sound
just
a little sour about that.
So what do the
no?
Netherlands wear?
I'm just saying. I like it. I respect it. I just feel like sometimes I'm looking at the Netherlands, a Dutch national team, and there's no name brands, but they got it on though.
Darian, floor's
clean.
yours.
It's still giving GQ.
All I need to say is Koundé. You said Depay counts for 3 players.
Okay.
Koundé counts for the entire team.
Okay.
That's all I had to say. This man is fresh every game. He has to show up in a kit, in trainers and everything. He'll change and rock a fit out of the stadium, Barcelona.
Right.
How they show up to camp, Camavinga, Tchouaméni. I mean, all of these players come decked out. Maybe some of them are designer heavy, whatever. They got the bag. Dress how you want. They're stylish. Everyone tries to emulate the French with their style, myself included. I love it.
Just saying. All I'm saying is, if I'm in that lineup, if I'm walking up to Clairefontaine with the feel that. You know what that is?
It better be fake.
It's goat material. And it's not real goat. It's not goat. It's not real. That was just a play on I'm the. Okay, all right. That's just.
You're done.
That's okay.
You're done.
All right. And that was it for our opinions on these matters. But let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you. What do you think? Onside, offside? Is Elisha crazy? Is Caitlin crazy? Is Darian
offside.
crazy? Are we all insane? Do we not know anything about footy? Let us know. I want to hear from you. All right, this segment we like to call Man of the Match, MOTM, Man of the Match, where we highlight personally the players that we think just need a little bit more shine, a little bit more of the spotlight. This week, Man of the Match for me has to be none other than Anthony. For Real Betis, ever since he's moved away from United, from that dark cloud at United, that man's been balling. We owe Anthony an apology, and by we, I'm including myself. Because
I don't. I've always liked him.
I've always liked him.
I'm going to remove myself from this chat.
We,
you go on.
I thought we were a unit.
Nope, not in this
I
scenario.
thought we were a team, and if I do wrong, y'all are okay.
Betis fans, you can go at him now.
Okay. No,
at him.
Right now I'm rocking with Betis. I'm rocking with Betis. Ballon Pied, right? Yeah? Okay. I like green. Green's a good color. But no, Anthony has been playing phenomenally. And if you look on paper, actually in the last 7 matches, 2 goals, 2 assists, that might not be so impressive. But if you're watching him, you're seeing how explosive he is on the wing. You know, how much more shots that he's taking, how involved he is in so many of the attacks that Betis is leading. Even the last match, him being so instrumental in that comeback against Leganes and essentially setting up Isco to set up Cucho for his first goal for Real Betis. He's so entertaining. From time to time, he'll give you a few unnecessary skill moves, but that's Jogo Bonito. That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? But for so long, we made fun of him for that moment coming off the bench with Man United raising his eyebrows, and now he's raising our eyebrows.
Sometimes you just have to go to a team that believes in you. I mean,
got
everyone
to.
knew when you went to United, you're not spending that money if you're not talented.
Mm-hmm.
He's always had the talent. He's just maybe not have had the team or the coach to bring that out of him. And now you're seeing that in Betis. You're seeing him play free. You're seeing him play that Brazilian flair.
Yes.
And you never want to take that away from a player because that's what football's about. That's what people fall in love with. That's, the Ronaldos, the Ronaldinhos that we love to watch, and that's who we grew up watching. So I love this for him. I love Betis. I'm a massive fan of La Liga and the Betis fans, and the stadium is electric. So I can't even imagine being a fan in that stadium right now watching
He's a showman. He's a showman. And to your point also, sometimes it's not the player, it's the environment. Sometimes you just need a little change of air.
It's United.
Maybe the fish and chips isn't working too much.
Sorry, United stands. You know what? Come at me in the comments. You're all going crazy.
No, say it with your chest. It's true.
It's true. But I will say I love seeing players like man of the match. You don't have to be the best player with the highest stats for me to get this award, especially right now. To see him with a smile on his face, playing, engaging with the fans, the passion's back, like you said. He's dancing on the ball. We get the showmanship. Yeah. That's why players fall in love with players. They follow them, is to see things like that. So to see the spirit back in him and his game, this was such a good move. I love it.
Anthony, parabéns. That's my Portuguese. If y'all didn't know, I have that in my bag too. I have that too.
You came in with the fur, French, English. We get it, okay?
That's my Portuguese. Kaylin, who's your man in the match this week?
I'm good. I mean, I only speak English, so here we go. I got to go with Bruno Fernandes as my man in the match. And it's not just this week. It's season after season. And because he plays for Man United, a team that has struggled so much, he gets crucified. He gets crucified from the top pundits over in Europe, from people here in North America, and I don't think he actually deserves it. If it wasn't for Bruno Fernandes this season, United would be relegated. They're close to that. They're not getting relegated because of this man. He's got 6 goals and 3 assists in the last 6 games, all competition. He gets a hat trick against Real Sociedad, arguably the biggest game of the season for Man United. In the past 3 seasons, he has 96 goal contributions. That's the most of any player in Europe right now. So I do understand why, though, he does get the criticism, because it is the body language. But if you're a player that's showing up season after season and you are with a team that struggles season after season, when you are Man United is a team that can't. It's a team that is world renowned. It's a team that's always had success. It's the team that had the David Beckhams, the Nevilles, the world-class Scholes, the top talents in Europe that it's very, very high. And I think he doesn't get put on that pedestal because they've not had success. So I feel like he's almost the scapegoat on the team, and I don't agree with it.
I love everything you said. I completely agree. He's the heartbeat, the spirit 100%. Of United. I think how we've seen that club kind of fall from how we've always viewed it, how I grew up watching United and the players you named and how legendary it was, to what it is now, where it's a cash grab. I mean, a lot of it is. And he has so much passion, and yes, that comes with up and down emotions, whatever, but he absolutely deserves his flowers. Amarin's even come out and said, we need more Brunos. We literally need more Brunos, because who knows where we would be without a player like him.
Relegated. You'd be relegated.
They'd be relegated, but I think that was such a good shout. He absolutely deserves the flowers.
Yeah, with a club as frustrating as Manchester United, sometimes you got to crash out a little bit too. But with that being said, Darian, who's your man of the match this week?
I'm going with the 6'6" big man with the stripes for Newcastle, Dan Burns, getting the go-ahead goal against Liverpool and the Carabao Cup. I think he was brilliant. I mean, Liverpool was all over the place in this. I mean, how are you leaving one of the biggest players that plays football in the world? Wide
literally
open.
In stature.
Yes.
He's
6'6".
He could play in the NBA.
Open to come and just have a free header, but I love it because he has so much heart in the way that he plays. I think he never gets the recognition that he deserves. Also, the celebration where he's doing his little noodle dance with Michael Richards on the desk, I thought it was hilarious.
Is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
It's the best, but he just has such a good energy and spirit about him. And then to get called into the England squad.
Yes.
Right after this,
well deserved.
It's so deserved. My man of the match.
His story is what dreams are made of. This is why you play the game of football. He started with Newcastle United as a youngster, was released at the age of 11, and then makes his way through non-leagues, goes through Brighton, then gets back in with Newcastle United, and then to lift the trophy, game-winning goal with Newcastle, your boyhood club, the team that released you and crushed your dreams, and you still fought to get back in the Premier League. you can't write. I mean, I have goosebumps. You can't write a better fairy tale story. And I watched an interview. He was at the England camp, and just his energy of, he's so happy to be there, but he's also, I've worked extremely hard to get this opportunity and to be here. And those are one of those players that you root for. So such a cool story. Absolutely love it. Love him as a player, and just everything you just said, nailed it.
Yeah. Now, let's take a little trip around the world and talk about some of the teams that maybe we don't hear about enough from all over the globe. And to start it off, I got to give a special shout out to Barcelona de Guayaquil manager Segundo Castillo, because that man showed up to Copa Libertadores game with a full-on three-piece suit. He got the tux on, the black and the white. And you see your boy. Okay, so I could appreciate when somebody cares and takes some time to present themselves in a certain way. So, and I appreciate managers specifically that show up on the sidelines. Like Mancini, I love Mancini because you could tell that man felt like this was a main event every single time that his team was
Italians,
playing.
though.
They got it like that.
They know how to dress.
Yeah, they just know how to put it on for real. So yeah.
Are you gonna take like any pointers you think maybe hitting into like our match day 3 next week, or you're gonna stick with this?
Well, I just feel like like somebody's got to talk about it. Who? I mean,
you look good, you feel good, you play good. I like that.
No, he looked. It was like
when you play good, they pay good. Now, since we're going around the world, we're gonna take a connecting flight over to Airport Darien. Darien, let me know, what is your
Let's take flight
around the world news moment?
I'm going to say Fiorentina topping Juventus. Juventus have not had the best track record as of late, but this is a really talented squad. I think if they switch up the way that they play in order to get the best out of Julic, Koop Miners, McKinney, Vlahovic, and feed them the ball that's not so possession heavy, that's them getting into the attack, even making the game ugly for right now. When you're playing and, hey, things aren't going right, maybe you have the most possession, nothing's coming together in front of goal. Let's start bombing the ball forward. Let's start turning teams around, make them respect us, make it ugly, because then you're on the front foot and you can at least create some opportunities to put chance away, and teams have to respect that. And I think for them to get out of the slump that Juve's been in for quite some time now, that needs to happen. But I have faith they can do it. I think they have the talent. It just, they need that change up.
As a former midfielder, that's like nails on a chalkboard.
Right?
Let's just bomb it forward. I'm like, I'm going to be in the chiropractor for 3 weeks.
As a forward, I'm like, send it.
That's my worst nightmare. But I just think that they have too much talent. So sometimes as a manager, you almost have to dumb things down, simplify it, take it back to the basics, strip it a little bit back, because they do have the talent. Just right now, the mindsets of those players, maybe just not in a confident, maybe tactically as well.
Yeah.
Don't bomb it forward.
Maybe that's one of those things where like the environment also matters, because I feel like right after Ronaldo left, it just felt there was a little bit of sizzle that was missing at Juventus. And then with Chiesa coming in, it felt, especially after the Euros, and he had such a great performance with Italy, it felt like, this is a new, exciting, like Italian player, and he's playing for one of the most.
Vlahovic was doing well too.
One of the most iconic teams in football history, but especially in Italy. But now it kind of feels like, the
style plays really slow.
Yeah, it's a bit lackluster.
It's not exciting. You have to, I think, just to have that reset, make everybody, you know what, let's go back to the basics, like you said. Let's bomb it, turn those midfielders around, let's make everybody's life hell, and let's just get in front of goal.
Guys, I'm not getting on any flights. I'm staying right here in our own backyard. I'm a homebody. I like the comfort of my couch, my bottle of wine, tuning into Major League Soccer, and tuning into Real Salt Lake and Diego Luna. I think this is a player, come summertime, I don't know if he'll be in Major League Soccer, because there is some European teams sniffing around with him.
Talk about it.
And I just think what he does on the pitch, what he does off the pitch, it's a player that I think the U.S. men's national team hasn't had in a really long time. The Clint Dempseys, the players that are, the grinders, the fighters that have fought for everything. I mean, the last international camp, you have Diego Luna come in, smash his nose and say to Pochettino, I'm good, send me back out there. I think he's got tampons in his nose. He gets back onto the pitch and then gets the game-winning assists. So I love this.
That's
I love
sick.
this player. And when you head into a World Cup, I've been part of 2 World Cups, 2011 and 2015, one of those being at home in Canada. It's a very difficult pressure. It's a very difficult feel than going to another country for a World Cup. Still a lot of pressure on your shoulders, but it's different because you have the media, you have the family, you have the friends, everyone's in attendance. And when you have someone like Diego Luna, usually in a World Cup, you have your 23-man roster, and it's like that 18 to 23, you want those locker room players. You want those players in training that are pushing the first team, that are pushing the starting 11 players, that you know the day after the game, they're on the training pitch, they're getting that fitness in, and maybe getting those subs that you would see that are your 12 to 14 players that usually will feature in a game in the World Cup. So I love this, and I know Pochettino loves him. I would not be shocked if Diego Luna is part of the 2026 World Cup roster.
Yeah, shout out to
Said it
Diego,
here.
man. Even
Shout out.
last year, got a chance to have a conversation with him at MLS Media Day, and he's one of those guys where it's like you see him walking up, you're like, I don't know what's about to happen, but then he speaks, and you're like, oh, you're a teddy bear.
Yeah.
But then he's on the pitch, and it's
Nah,
like,
he's a
oh,
pit bull
no,
on
you
the
got
pitch.
that
Yeah.
dog in you. And so, yeah, it's just, he makes it easy to root for him.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about Diego and obviously his now involvement and also future for the USMNT, the Nations League is kicking off. Right now it's international break. We got USA versus Panama, Mexico versus Canada. So what are we saying? What are we predicting for these matchups coming?
I feel like it's just a silly question from me anyways.
Oh, God.
I'm going
Here we
Canada, I'm going USA, I'm seeing them both in the final, and then I'm going Alphonso Davies, Kyle Larin, Jonathan David making havoc in the final. I should have my Canadian jersey on basically.
You really should.
Yeah, I should. I should have worn it. It wasn't smart of me. I'll wear it next week when
Next
they do
week,
end up winning
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Why is my spidey sense telling me you have something different?
I mean, I really want to see U.S. and Canada in the final.
Yeah.
I want to see Jesse Marsh make it to the final with this team. I'm a big Jonathan David stan. I think he's been incredible with Lille this year. I want to see Josh Sargent take this national team and actually stamp his place as the 9.
Yeah.
Well, I think the U.S. has been missing that. I've been talking about that a lot recently. That's my hope. But I do think Panama is going to give the U.S. a little bit more of a fight. I mean, we all think that it's going to be a fight, but I think it's going to be a really scrappy game, and I'm excited for these young players to be able to experience that. But I like the test. I don't think it's going to be smooth all the way through, though.
How do you like Poch as your new head coach?
I mean, I love it. Who wouldn't want him as your coach? When you're young, coming to this team, when U.S. Soccer, I think, has been, on the men and women's side, has been stale for a really long time. You have 2 new coaches coming in who just reset everything. I would be so hungry to come and prove myself in a tournament like this. This is a huge opportunity, and yeah, I think Poch is doing everything as he should.
I love that you talked about Jesse Marsh because he always said, like, in Europe, like, the only way I'm coming back to North America is for the U.S. men's national team job. Obviously, the Canadian job came available, and he's a Canadian through and through. We completely accept you. And I think it's made him maybe rethink that as well. Like, obviously being Canadian, I'm very proud to be Canadian, but we have so much talent. It's the most talent that we've ever
Very
had.
underrated talent.
Very underrated
Yeah.
talent. If we can continue to get everyone healthy and fit and all on the same pitch, I'm so excited for this. And I agree with you. I feel like that rivalry within North America, especially Mexico, it used to always be Mexico and the U.S.
Yeah. I was gonna
Canada
say, I feel
has
like-
entered the chat, baby,
Yeah, I
and
feel
I would
like-
love to see that
Yeah.
final.
And
The
Panama
game-
puts up a big fight.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, they've taught us some lessons in the past.
I think the game might be getting a little tired or overall of Mexico, USA in every final, like the Gold Cup, Nations Leagues. I think it might be time for a new type of final. I'm rooting for USA and Canada also to make it there. So
Can I
think
just
that's
can I
gonna
just
be
remind
box
Canada
office.
was top of the table for the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know if you remember that, but we were top. Number 1. Finished top.
This is Extra Time, and in the spirit of a 90-minute game, we have 90 seconds, 30 seconds each. Just get whatever you want to get off your chest, starting with Darian. What you got?
Let me cook. NWSL is back, baby.
Yeah.
We got
Good
21
one.
goals in the opening weekend. We had Orlando Pride, Kansas City, Washington Spirit picking up just where they left off last year. The sport is blowing up for the NWSL. I absolutely love to see it. Got to tune into all the matches this weekend. We have big hitters coming up. and so many goals.
Wasn't it
Barbara
Orlando
Banda,
City like 6-0 over Chicago or something?
6 goals.
Banda, what was it, a brace as well?
For Chicago. Banda had a brace. Temwa Shawinga scored in the first few minutes of the match. I mean, these players are badass. You don't want to miss it. Tune in.
Love it.
Yes.
Good one.
And big shout out to the young bowler Zoe Matthews too, who's gonna have her first full season with Houston Dash. So yeah, wishing her a lot of luck. And speaking of young ballers, for my 30, I gotta give a huge shout out to another young baller for Philadelphia Union 2, the one and only Kevin Sullivan. The kid is still 15. He's still just 15 years old and scored his first game of the season, his first goal of the season. He scored a beautiful free kick, bottom left corner. That's how I score him. Okay, so it just
In
resonated.
your sleep,
It resonated a little bit more. Hold on, wait a minute. Are we
No.
Are we judging?
Roll the
Are we
clip.
judging me? Are
Yeah,
we
roll it.
clip. I
Throw
wanna
it
see
in.
it.
Producers, throw it in of this.
Please roll the clips.
I'm sticking with Captain America on back-to-back weeks with this man because he's in contract negotiation with AC Milan. Give the man his money. He's been unbelievable. Another big weekend for him, and now he's heading in with the U.S. men's national team. And I know there's always so much pressure on him. Can he put the team on his back? Can he step up? Can he be Captain America? And I think he can, especially under new management of Mauricio Pochettino. This is what he does. We've seen it time and time again as him as a manager, giving these players the success in order to step up. So I'm going back-to-back weeks. Sorry to my Canadians out there.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. But yeah, Christian Pulisic.
Somebody
got
give me
it.
some
I
poutine.
love a Canadian.
Whoa! Don't hate on poutine.
No, I love poutine. That's why somebody
I
give
thought you
me
were
some.
hating on it. I was
Nah.
like, hold on a minute. Have you had poutine, Darian?
I'm rocking with poutine.
I have.
Oh, it's not been good. No, hold on. No, it's not been good. You can tell. Where did you eat it?
It's not my thing. It's not my thing.
Where did you eat it? Where did you have it from?
I had
if
it
you had
in
it,
France.
they don't do they don't
Get
do
her.
poutine.
Get her. She
Anyone
has
in
fake
France,
poutine.
you can't just stick with your croissants.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh.
Let the Canadians do the poutine.
Oh.
Sorry.
French people in the comments.
Yeah.
I love my French people though.
What an episode. I love being in the studio with you guys. We look good, we feel good, we talk good. Hot takes. I already can't wait for next week.
Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, we do read all of your comments. I won't be getting back into the kitchen because the only thing I'm
neither.
cooking is my hot takes in here, okay? But we do read all your stuff. And we
Yes.
genuinely love all you guys tuning in because it is a lot of fun.
Make sure that you don't forget DAZN.com for free. This summer, you can watch the FIFA Club World Cup. It's coming in hot, and we can't wait for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Elisha Idua, Kaylin Kyle, Darian Jenkins for Blue Ball. We'll see you next week. No. Please, don't play me like that. The clip exists. It's here. Roll it, producers.